I'm gonna pull up Firefox. Okay, so I've been playing around with this a little bit. I actually did a false start on my recording, and my computer died. I didn't have it plugged in. Nevertheless, this is ChatGPT. This is a AI, artificial intelligence learning module, and I am the worst person to try to explain and geek out and tell you what exactly this is. But it is. I can tell you what I'm using it for. So again, this is OpenAI.com. There's a free version, Chat GPT 3.5 or GPT 4. I highly recommend you get 4. It's $20 a month. It's got lots of really cool plugins that you can add to it and utilize. So GTP 4, again, this is what I want you to think about is we all know what Google is. Google is something you go to, you type in the search bar, how much is the annual rainfall in Rwanda, and so you can find a fact. What's a good cheap flight to Australia? Google can tell you all of that. What it can't do is begin to think and reason, give you thoughtful and reasoned responses. Conversely, ChatGPT can. So I'm just going to do a very simple prompt. And so we're typing in here, send a message. We're going to do a simple prompt, and then we're going to get into actually some ones that I've created here and how they can be beneficial to you and your business. And we're using them now in our business and have been since January, honestly. Okay, so send a message. I could type in here something. If this is a Google bar, I would type in, where's a good place to get pizza? What I couldn't type in is, tell me the best pizza recipes, where they originate. So I just typed in the prompt that came top of my head. I don't know why. Tell me the best pizza recipes and where they originate. So I'm using an extension plugin called using keymate.ai. So it links to the internet and gives you some real-time data on top of its algorithm learning module. You can't get the plugins with a GPT or 3.5, but you can with 4.0, and I'll show you. I can show you the difference, but spend the $20 and get GPT-4. So just quickly off of this, and I don't know, 8 seconds of searching, some of the best pizza recipes. And, there's a link to where they found it. Summer squash pizza, goat cheese walnuts. That sounds terrible. Silverton's tomato oregano pizza, maybe. I could click on and pull a link up here, and it's going to take me here and how I can connect. And there we go. I don't really care about the pizza, so I'm going to go back to, or I don't care about that recipe. Portobello mushrooms, red pepper, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so give me some pizza recipes. I'm going to ask a clarifying question. And again, ChatGPT has limitations. If I asked it to, build a recipe for a bomb, it's not going to do it. If I asked, what's my neighbor up to, obviously it's not finding that information out, but it's taking all available data and it's learning algorithm and responding in very cohesive, coherent, and logical responses. So I'm trying to think of a clarifying question to a pizza question. Where are these pizzas most commonly served? I have no idea what this is going to get. And this may not prove my point, but actually my point was I just wanted to show you a few fun different things, and then I'll show you exactly what we're doing in real estate. And I've already created the templates here and show you what that is. I even misspelled where. So it deep dove a little bit more, and I asked a more clarifying question. We're going to talk about being a prompt engineer. Basically, what you can do here is you'll start, and this is what I've done. I mean, I've written a book with this. I've, analyzed, business practices. I mean, we've come up with marketing strategies. I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff, but here I just asked a clarifying question, and, it's coherently answered some questions. I can jump ship and ask a different question, like, okay, I've asked, write my wife a love song. Her name is Heidi, and she loves the ocean. It's literally writing a song To my wife, Heidi. In a world full of noise, there's a melody. In the sound of your voice, Heidi calling me. Your laughter is the song that sets my heart free, like the rhythm of waves crashing in the sea. So, this is, it'd take me forever to come up with anything like that. Truth be told, I mean, would I've written a song for Heidi? No, I've never written songs to Heidi, so she'd probably look at me weird. But this is just shows you some of the potential and the creativity that you can have and create within ChatGPT. Okay, so let's deep dive into what we've done in our real estate business and how I want to encourage each and everyone listening to this to utilize it. And we're gonna continue to create. I have drank the Kool-Aid. We are implementing and leveraging AI into our business in so many different ways. I mean, this is literally, in the mid 90s when the internet came out, there's people who said that's fad, it's not going to do anything. And they were wrong. So this is similar, not similar. This is by far will have a much broader reach into each and every aspect of our life. So again, back to it as an investor. I prompted this. So this is literally stuff that I did last night and in preparation for this video and so we can go through. So write an in-depth contractor agreement, including all best practices and addendums for an investor to use when hiring a remodeling contractor to flip their house. All right. So this is, pretty good. I mean, I ran through this, like that's not bad. I left, a lot of places to fill in the blanks, and you could take that, print it off, and add in the margins anything specific related to your contract or your project, different addendums. I mean, that's pretty good. I wanted to expand on it a little bit. I said, make it more robust and include all contractual obligations and specify clearly all communication. So that's what it did. I prompted it, and it created a more robust scope of work. It created, just different language, and I could continue, and I could click regenerate response, and it would then create an additional response to my last prompt. And so here you go. I mean, it's literally typing out and it's literally creating a new response, slightly different than the first one. And I could continue to go on and on and on. I mean, I've created, train of thought, up to 40, 50, 60 responses just as I was hammering out a specific idea, and I kept clarifying and shaping it and molding it. So again, this one's a little bit more robust. I think it's great. And I could literally take this, I could go export it and send it and go print it. I could copy this link, send it, do whatever I wanted to with it. And I would have a scope of work that I could take and use on a job site, or a contractor agreement, sorry, that we could use on a job with the contractor. So we'll get to scope of work in a second. Okay. Another instance that we used here is that explain to me all relevant systems of a house that go into detail on everything I would need to know about this as a new investor. So I get asked this a lot, like, hey, tell me, like, what are the major systems of a house? Like what, we go over this in our module, but this can be a fantastic refresher. And just think about this, anything. I mean, if you want to know what the fundamentals of a suspension bridge are, I mean, you could type it in here and it would give you, tons of, well, let's just do it. I'll do it in a second. But on this regard, it's talking about, all the systems of a house. I asked it, okay, that's great. Give me more detailed account. And this time I said, of each of the systems, but as if you were a seasoned licensed contractor with 25 years experience. And so it just gave from a contractor's perspective that had 25 years experience. And again, ChatGPT is trained in this. And so it's searching for records. It's searching for data and lightning speed of seasoned licensed contractors with 25 years experience. And it's giving you that data from that perspective. It's amazing. I mean, it's killer. So this is, again, overview of a house, systems of a property, of a house. I mentioned scope of work a second ago, and so I dialed in, create a detailed scope of work for an interior and exterior remodel, highlighting all major components of the flip. Said leave areas blank so I can fill in the blanks. So this is what it gave me. Not too impressed with it. It's pretty sparse. So I said, hey, okay, create a more robust scope of work and use all best known practices of a large remodeling company, construction company, include all details specific work that can be completed in rooms of a house. So I just specified more. I mean, I could have typed in, 3, 4 more sentences to add more clarification, specifically what I was looking for, exclude things that I wasn't looking for, that I wasn't happy with up here. Like, I don't care about, you know, demolition and cleanup. I already, I have that under control. Or, you could tell it to provide whatever you want it to provide. But so I asked it to provide more robust, and here we go. We got additional information, and this would be a scope of work that I could print off. Again, I could print it off, send it to an email or anything, throw it up in a document, edit it, and run with it. So again, that's the scope of work. As I was going through here, some very practical things that we can be thinking about is I get asked all the time about private money, and so that's something that's been very important in our business. And I prompted, write a letter to potential private money lender, make it professional, but not too wordy, and don't sound desperate. We are a well-established house flipping company, always looking for more money partners. In our deals, we like making win-win situations. So it created, based on what I prompted, I hope this message finds you well. My name is blah, blah, blah. We're well established. We've come across your profile due to your notable experience. So I would look through this and be careful when you're asking it to write letters. You want it to sound and feel like what you want it to sound and feel like. And if it's supposed to be coming from you, you're going to use this as more of a rough outdraft than an outline. So specifically, I wouldn't print this off and send it to a friend I've known for 10 years because it wouldn't sound like me. However, if this is a cold outreach or something that you're considering, that sounds good. I asked a clarifying question, write another letter, but make it more friendly, less formal. Talk about how working with a trusted investor and how the returns in real estate are better than average and always secured. That's exactly what I got. A little more friendly, less formal. You can see this, and again, I would edit any of this stuff to your liking, and this is not a one and done, but it is definitely a time saver. Our team has saved such a significant amount of time by utilizing ChatGPT and other AI technologies. So I prompted another one. Write this letter as if you're writing to a good friend, but not in a joking manner. And so, hey friend, I trust this message finds you in good spirits. I'm writing in regards to an exciting opportunity I think you might be interested in. You know how I've been immersed in the world of real estate with your company, buying, refurbishing, and selling residential properties, right? Well, it's going really well. And I thought you might be someone that wants to get involved. So again, leveraging ChatGPT, AI technologies, not being afraid of it, but embracing it as a business owner, having tools like this is so profound. I can't stress it enough. That's why we've added this as our very first module to supplement our core modules, and we will continue to be adding to this significantly. Okay, another example. Creative real estate. Okay, so this one, and again, I enabled a plugin, key.ai, I think it was. I don't have time to go into all the different plugins, the different templates that you can create. And you can go in here and play and create different templates and choose categories that you're wanting to do, subcategories. You can do all kinds of stuff, and it will literally allow you to do that. Okay, so what I did do, investment pitfalls. So tell me all the common pitfalls encountered by new investors, provide stories and anecdotes to drive home a point. So again, this isn't some earth-shattering project that I would, think that's, going to change the trajectory of your business. But if you want to cut to the chase on, listening to some podcasts, reading books, I can tell you one thing. I didn't do an example on this, but one thing I've done significant examples or personally reading is asking for a synopsis of books and then doing a little deep dive. I mean, I can, one of the books that's oftentimes, given to an investor, for instance, like Think and Grow Rich or any of Kiyosaki's work, you can type it in here and get like a synopsis and then ask a few clarifying questions. It's killer. I mean, I love it. In this particular example, I've asked for provide stories and anecdotes to drive home a point. So it's literally like, what can hamper an investor? Well, lack of research understanding, chasing past performance, emotional investing, ignoring your fees, not diversifying, timing the market, neglecting to rebalance. I mean, those are all perfect. And it gave me cautionary tales. I asked for clarifying questions. I said, give me some examples from Bigger Pockets. It's a popular website that a lot of investors use. And it literally pulled up a bunch of examples from Bigger Pockets. I can go to Bigger Pockets. That's how I first got started in real estate. And you can get lost there for days. I did, week, months, honestly. But simply by using a tool like this, you can go scrape some data very quickly and get it at your fingertips. Much like I said on the synopsis of books, I've done that a lot. If you're not a reader, you can definitely get some cliff note type action. And then some of the questions I asked on books is like, well, give me a real world application of this, and it would give you like a real example of it. That one, okay, I did a deep dive into some creative financing. Here's another really practical one. I asked a question: prepare a lease agreement of Kansas rental with all usual contract language and clearly lay out expectations in terms of damages. So it gave me a pretty basic standard, pretty short. I didn't like that. So I asked it to give me a longer one, a little more robust. And let's see, where's my response on that? Create a rental agreement with a robust section on damages. So specifically, I had a student ask me about damages or a short-term contract for somebody that was coming in for a month, and they had a long-term unit, but they were getting ready to re-rent, but somebody just wanted to rent it for a month, but they were worried about the damages. So I pointed them to my B&B manager, but it made me think of this. They were specifically worried about damages. So I asked a clarifying question, talks about damages, and that gave me a much more robust section in the damages disclaimer here on this rental contract. So again, this is, yeah, I was playing around with some of the different copywriting styles. And so that was a edgy and satirical, some of the different quote unquote, not avatar is not the right word, how you can generate some of the responses. It can be like very professional. Like you can ask in the drop down menu I showed before, you can literally ask like to write this as if you're a professor. I mean, I've prompted, write this as if you're a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, or write this as if you're a Nobel Prize laureate or an award winning ad agency. And it's amazing. And it just pulls it up. I can dive into a few other ones. Actually, I'll dip back into some of the stuff that we've used. I'll go back. Here's something I used for my acquisition manager. I was sitting in the office and I heard him on the phone. I was listening to some of his phone calls, and this was very good for me. As we talked to sellers, I mean, I was thinking like, I've read a lot of books and listened to podcasts, but I literally just jumped in. I said, write an article including the 6 key points of why using tonality and voice inflection is important for a sales agent. It gave me the spot on answer from every book that I've ever read. It's called about building rapport, communicating enthusiasm, creating urgency in your message, addressing objections, communicating confidence, and closing the sale. And it's given key points to drive home why using tonality and voice inflection is important for a sales agent, in this case, my acquisition manager. And so, yeah, for example, by speaking in low and a serious tone, a sales agent can convey the importance of a limited time offer. This hit home, and it was kind of a game changer for my acquisition, and he felt kind of called to the mat, but I witnessed him and heard him on the phones, and he just talked way too loud and just way too boisterous. And so anyway, I had to ask a clarifying question: why is it so important to match tonality in the conversation and be soft spoken when necessary as an acquisition manager for a real estate company? So again, this was just a short response, but it changed pretty significantly, and this happened back in January in our business. Matching tonality in conversation is important for an acquisition manager for a real estate investment company because it helps create a sense of understanding and trust with potential sellers. So again, I had my acquisition manager read all this. In fact, I had him read it in front of everybody, and we all got a kick out of it because this was exactly what he needed to hear. And I'd been telling him that before, but we caught it by listening to a phone call, and he was his usual gregarious self and just boisterous. This was such a simple tool to make a correction in our business, and it's amazing. I'll do one more example. In a question and answer format, explain why having a proper mindset is vital when beginning with real estate investing. So again, these were just some of my early days of playing around with it, but you can create, not just ask the question, but I could have prompted this. In fact, I can go ahead and do it. I could have prompted this to answer as an expert. Let's do one more, and we're going to Be interesting to see what this says. Neurolinguistics. I can't even spell it right. Okay, so it's giving me a very quick. What is neurolinguistic programming? NLP is a field that explores the connection between neurological process, language, and pattern behaviors, or behavioral patterns. Blah, blah, blah. How does it work? What are some practical applications of NLP? So this, if anybody knows what NLP is or neuro-linguistic programming, this is a really amazing thing to understand. And most people that study sales psychology and how to have a good sales pitch or how to talk to people, how to talk to sellers, how to negotiate. I mean, all this is just gold. And so you can geek out and learn all about NLP and all kinds of stuff. You don't have to. You can literally find out at the tip of your fingertips here. ChatGPT can help you explain all this. So all that to say, let's see. Okay, we'll leave it at that. All that to say, ChatGPT, as a real estate investor, as a business owner, get on board. You don't want to get left behind. And even if you're, just mildly or casually, learning how to use this, begin to do so. Begin to see, again, the term prompt engineer. The information that you can extract from ChatGPT is going to be based on how good that you can prompt, how good you can ask questions, how good you can ask clarifying questions, how detailed you can expect responses, and in the voice, tone, character, modality of anything you can think of, you can get those interpretations from those perspectives and that in that vein. So I hope that makes sense. This is something we're really excited about. Stay tuned for more of these modules. We will be continuing to add to all of our modules, our core modules, and then our AI specifically. So hope you enjoyed it.